Hey there, let's go ahead and break down our pose of the week. This week, our pose is blaster pose. And you're gonna find that this pose shows up quite a bit, especially when we are stretching our hips. So let's go ahead and just get right into it so you can kind of see what blaster looks like. And then I'll show you all these different modifications that you can use, the props that you can use to help support your blaster pose. So, to set it up, we come into a tabletop position, hands underneath our shoulders, shoulder width apart, fingers are spread, and then hips are underneath our hips, our knees are underneath our hips, hips width apart. We'll start on the right side. So you're going to lunge the right foot forward to the outside of the right pinky, okay? And it'll come out either as wide or close to the edge of the mat. You're going to heel toe your foot forward, forward, forward until the ankle is in front, either in front or stacked right underneath the knee. This is where we get kind of stuck. We're up like this, and there's not a whole lot. There's more strength happening here. So you want to relax the hips forward, allow them to drop down, finding extension in the back leg and flexion in the front leg. Hands underneath your shoulders. Fingers are spread. Relax the neck, relax the head, and hang here. So a couple things to note too. The toes can either be pointing straight ahead, but if you find the knee is drawing out to the right, you want to slightly turn your toes out. So the knee and the toes follow each other. They stay in line with one another. And you'll feel it. If your toes are straight ahead and you start to drop into it, you're going to start to feel a little bit of some discomfort in the knee. So check in there, and if you need to, you can slightly turn your toes out and have the toes and the knee in line. One option you can do here, it's a couple options. Let's look at the back leg first. I've got lots of props here. I have a pillow, I have a blanket. If the back knee, if you're feeling any sort of pressure, pain, or discomfort, anything that's really distracting you from relaxing in this pose, just take a blanket or a pillow, line it up across the mat so you have your knee something to rest on. You can also place the pillow there too if you need a little more support there. I know that a lot of people like to start practicing this pose on their bed. I know that I started there because there's just so much pressure, so much pain in this left knee that it was just too distracting for me. So if you could always practice this on the bed for a while and then maybe move off the bed onto the ground and use more props there. You can also, with our back leg there, you can also roll up the edge of the mat if you need to support the back knee. Now for the hands and the arms, if it's comfortable for you, you can stay. Let me move. Lots of props here, guys. If it's comfortable, you can stay right here with the straight arms. Straight arms are strong arms. You just want to make sure that the shoulder is in line with the elbow and stacked over the wrist. Pause there, relax through the neck and the shoulders, and let the head hang. Careful to not press yourself out of the pose with the hands or the right foot, but those hips continuously drop forward and down. You got some blocks here. You can always place your hands on top of blocks. You have 3 different heights that you can play with. If you're down low and there's still, maybe you're on the mat, still discomfort, maybe you come up onto blocks, still discomfort, maybe you keep going up, you keep going up, you keep going up, still discomfort. The goal is that you want to, if you're feeling too much discomfort and anywhere in the legs, especially in the knees, lift up. Keep bringing your body up, 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 and relaxing forward. I promise with time and practice, you will find your way into a deeper option. Of course, instead of playing with the heights of blocks, you can always stack blocks. That works as well. Some people find maybe you have space and you can come down you want to deepen the stretch, you can come down onto forearms, either onto the mat, or you got blocks, you can stack up blocks and maybe play with the height. You can come down to forearms on your blocks. If you have so many props, sometimes I use the bolster too. Maybe you're just in a space where you can come down, you can rest forearms on the bolster. If you have a table, a stool, anything to rest your forearms on, or even place your hands on, will work as well. Let me show you with our chair. I love doing this with the chair. Once you get accustomed to the chair, then you can kind of play around with different heights and different objects, like the coffee table, or maybe you have a dining room chair or something like that. You can play around with the use of the chair for your blaster pose as well. Lots and lots of props. I just keep repeating that because I'm surprised how many props I grab. Okay, let's set this up. Just for the sake of being able to see me, I'm going to start with the right foot again. Again, same setup. The right foot comes to the outside of the right hand, the right pinky out to the edge or as close to the edge as the mat. The chair or the stool comes to the inside of the knee. You can start to lean forward. Again, palms come here onto the chair, the stool, anything that you're using. Maybe arms come up straight. You can always play with even propping yourself up even more and stacking blocks on top of the chair as well. So there's lots of different options for blaster, lots and lots of options. I encourage you to kind of play around with the different shapes and using all sorts of different props. You'd be surprised what you have in your house and what you can use. The idea is, remember, we're just trying to find that stretch. We don't really care. Like, there's a little bit of care, but we're not so focused on what the pose looks like. We're trying to figure out where that stretch is at. Once we identify it, how can we, are we already at that 6 or 7 out of intensity out of 10? Are we already there? If we're there, then let's just stay there and breathe there and hold there for the 5 minutes. If not, if we're maybe achieving 8 or 9 or 10, how can we back out of it? How can we support the body more so that we're not so intensely into this stretch? Because the more intense we get into it, the less we are able to relax, the more the body just, that stretch reflex starts to engage and activate. And again, the less that we can really drop into that stretch. So play around with it. Make sure you read your email. It'll go over a little bit more about the muscles that we're stretching. We're really getting to those hip flexors. Again, with the extended leg, the leg that's in that hip extension, the long leg behind you, you're really going to feel the stretch on the inside, maybe on the inside of the left thigh, and a lot of it on top of the left thigh as well. You might feel a little bit on the inside of the right, the leg that's in the front in flexion. So again, play around with it. Don't be shy. Experiment with it. Use what you got to use to help support your body. I know that we are so focused and very much in the space of rushing to lower down into the ground, but nothing super magical happens there. It is just a place that we can go to deepen the stretch even more. If we need to go deeper to find that 6 or 7 out of 10 intensity into that space. Don't feed the ego. Don't be shy. If you feel any sort of discomfort or pain anywhere in the body, just come up, come up, come up, come up. Stack up, stack up, stack up. Bring the torso back up so that you can allow the hips to drop forward and sinking down. You'll find your stretch there. All right, that is blaster pose. If you have any questions or you want to share with me your blaster pose, what it looks like, feel free to reach out to me in an email, or I am online as well on the Instagram, whatever it works for you. Keep an eye out for this pose. We'll be practicing our pose of the week, our blaster pose this week in our hips stretching class. All right, I will see you guys there. Happy stretching. Thank you for being here. I will see you on your mat very soon.